Hello everybody and welcome back. So today we are finally working on my daughter's side tables. Finally, I have finished and I finally had time to get to them. This definitely was a process because it did take me a few days to get it all organized and done and painted and all of that. But I feel like the overall result came out great and she loved them, which made me even more happier. So let's go ahead and jump right on in. So I know last time I showed you guys in our home update that I was going to put my daughter's tables on this side, which I did. But as you can see, right here, they go in, but because I moved the bed over a little bit. But when it's this way, it hits right there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take off this tiny little bit of the table because I really do like these side tables. I just need them to be a little bit more thinner now. So I'm just going to cut the edges. I'm going to leave the front like that long because I like that. I just need them to be a little bit skinnier. And then I'll just sand the sides and then paint them black again. I'm also going to be turning these matte black instead of how shiny they are. I just prefer the matte black look now. And I might be even changing the way of the front looks. My daughter is wanting something a little different, so I think I'm going to do that. So the sides of the tables are now cut, and as you can see, they look a lot smaller on the sides, and that's what I wanted because I need them to fit right in between the door and the bed. So now they look perfect. I actually already went and stained them again. I just did a touch up with my favorite color, which is ebony from the brand Varathane. This is my all-time favorite. A lot of the pieces that I have done in my home are from this brand and in this color. Top favorite. The only thing that I don't like about it is that, as you can see, it's very shiny. So I am very into now the matte look. So I'm just gonna go in with this, one, to protect it, and two, because I want the matte finish. So we're gonna go ahead and do both of the side tables and let those dry so I can work on the front part of the tables. I forgot to show you guys, if you're ever doing just touch-ups on a table, anything small, I even use this for big projects. This is my favorite thing to use, which is the touch-up kit. It's a small roller. You can buy the little rollers separately, so you don't have to constantly buy this part. You just buy this part right here, and it's like $3 or $4 to buy a pack of 2, and this is what I use for my smaller projects. I just like it because you're able to get into all those small cracks and crannies a lot easier than a big roller. And I also don't like sometimes how the brushes leave streaks, and then I have to go in and sand it, and this just makes it a lot easier. had removed the centerpiece of the side door, I needed to cut out two more pieces for each of these doors. I needed one piece for the back of the door and one piece for the center part of the door, which was going to help me with my overall design on, the front part. I used two pieces of paper for my template. I measured them out and then cut out the boards for each of the doors. By cutting out the boards already, it made the process a lot quicker since both doors are the same length and width. This definitely made it a lot easier for me. I didn't have to, stop and continue. Since everything was ready, cut out, we were good to go. So once my back part was stapled in, it was time to come in and glue the center part. This centerpiece was going to help me for more height just because the center part was just so deep in. I didn't want my center, design to sink in too much. I wanted to pop out just a little bit, and this was going to work because it wasn't completely glued onto the door. So like I said before, if I wanted to switch it out later on, I could definitely do that, and I really like this. Unfortunately, I had cut my glue gun, the tip, a little too wide, so I was getting way too much glue out of my gun, and I had to smear it around with a glove just so it was nicely and even. After I put the pieces in, I let them dry overnight. I put some weights on there just so everything would hold great together. So while the centerpieces were drying, it was time to cut out every single one of these sticks. I want to say they're like half moon because it's not a full round piece of wood. It's like cut in half. I was going to use these for the design and the centerpiece. Unfortunately, they were too long, and yes, I had to cut 50 of these to the exact measurement of both of these doors. Did it take me a while? Yes, it did. Was I frustrated? Just a little bit, until I found a different saw that helped me with the process so much quicker, because this hand saw right here was just taking way too long. So like I said, once I cut out every single one of them, I went in with a piece of sandpaper just to sand out the outer edges that I had cut so they weren't, rough. One thing I did forget to do was sand the front piece of the wood, because not all of the sticks, I want to say like maybe 4 out of the 50 were rough. I don't know why, but you could tell later when you did the painting and priming, that's when you could tell. So if you ever find one in your stack that is a little rough, I would consider, sanding it a little bit just so you don't get the same, thing that I had going on. Fortunately, you can't tell a lot, but because I'm very picky, I could see it. So the next morning I had checked on the doors and they seemed perfectly, fine. They looked like they were glued on perfectly. So it was time to add the center design. I used the same glue, the nail glue that I used for the centerpiece of the doors, and this time though I decided to use a brush to spread around all of the glue, just because I wanted to make sure there was enough glue on every piece that I was going to glue in, and make sure it was even and spread it out. The last thing I wanted was one of these pieces to pop out, so I definitely wanted to take my time in preparing the glue. After I had laid down the centerpiece, I did the same exact thing as I did the day before. I put some weights on top so it would help them just stick better. I put a piece of wood that was the same centerpiece of wide in length, and then put the weights right on top and let them dry over for a whole day, a whole 24 hours before I started painting or doing anything else to these doors. So once the door was, dried, I decided to attach it. I felt like it was going to make the painting process a little bit quicker, because that way I can paint both sides at the same time, let them dry, and then do the second coat. If I were to do it the other way, I would have to paint one side, let that dry, then flip it, and then, it was going to take a lot longer. So I decided to just attach the door and paint both sides at the same time, and that way they both have the same amount of drying time, and then I could do the second coat once both sides were dry. the side tables are finally dry. The doors are also finally dry. I gave them 2 coats and then I put the sealer over them and they are completely dry. And now that they're ready, or we're almost done, it's time for us to choose what type of knob we're going to put on them. So before I started working on them, this is the knob that was originally on them. And I don't know if I'm going to keep it, so I pulled out a few, you know, different ones that I had in my stash. I tend to shop around for knobs when I'm thrifting or out at the store and I see something is on sale, because you never know when you want to switch up the knobs a little bit. So I have right here one for an option, and then I have this pretty, you know, glass with bronze. I have this one right here that's black with a little bronze on the tips. And then I have your just traditional, you know, type of knob. These were from another project, which means I would have to spray paint them, you know, just to cover up, cover up all, you know, the scuffs on this one. But I'm gonna go ahead and try them each out on the side tables and see which one I like the best. And they are finally in, everybody. I'm super happy. They came out amazing. I love the detail on the front of the door, and as you can see, I opted out for the just black knobs. I sanded them down and spray painted them again a matte color, and they look amazing. I love it. I really love how they turned out. Yeah, and they fit because I did cut the sides, so they now fit, you know, where they're supposed to go, and you get a little bit of like an inch on each side of the side tables from the bed. This one as well, so I'm super happy. They turned out great, and finally, you know, she has her side tables in her room, because when she needed to put her phone down or something, she didn't have somewhere to put it. Now her side tables are in, so that's perfect. I also chose the black knobs because they match perfectly with the black knobs on her bookcase, so that's another reason why I chose them. I like you know, everything matching and coordinating together, so that was nice. I also like them so much, I'm going to be switching those out to the black. I have extras, so I'll be definitely switching all of that out so it matches a lot better and it's, you know, all cohesive in here. And yeah, but I love it. Can you believe this is the 3rd time I upcycle these side tables? Yeah. We've been through a lot of changes in these rooms, but yeah, as you can see, it definitely looks a lot better now with side tables on the side of her beds than nothing at all. I hope you guys enjoyed, you know, upcycling these side tables with me, and I hope you got a few ideas, you know, to work on one of your side tables or one of your projects, you know. But yeah, I will see you guys all next time. Do not forget, you know, to like, subscribe if you guys, you know, enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.